Once I get the roosting bars that I'm gonna build installed in there, they're gonna have a much better option for sleeping. We got about 6 inches of snow overnight last night, and it's still coming down. It's kind of this weird snow. It's very granular. Our temperature check-in for the morning is 31 degrees Fahrenheit with a 10-mile-an-hour wind making it feel like 22 degrees. And here's the conversion for our friends outside the US. Alright, we got another egg. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback and suggestions from you guys regarding keeping the pullets out of the water overnight. I got a suggestion from Lane regarding emptying the water each night and maybe mounting a hook up here and hanging up the water so they can't access it. Robert contacted me and told me about his system that he uses. He's basically using a nipple waterer system where he has a big tank and that gravity feeds through electrical conduit to a nipple watering system. I had a few people tell me just flip the bowl over. I also got a comment about just unplugging it and taking it out every night, bring it in the house, some people said, and then bring it back in the morning, plug it back in. I talked about the complication with that in a couple videos ago, where the electrical cord is buried underneath the skid of the greenhouse. I can't pull it through any further right now, so I have to dig out the mulch It's a little bit cumbersome getting the cable down there in and out each day. It's just a little bit of a hassle when there are plenty of other solutions. As far as bringing the waterer in at night, we tried that a few weeks ago with our other waterers. We have very little space in our house to bring in anything like that, but I tried bringing it in and squeezing it in anyway on our little bench that we sit on when we put our shoes on before we go out. One of them leaked and the water pooled all over our floor and soaked our new drywall that we had up. The drywall expanded, absorbed it like a sponge. So we have a new policy where we're not bringing the waterers inside the house anymore. Another recommendation was actually something I had thought of initially. It's something I wanted to do, but didn't have the materials on hand to do. That was basically building a barrier over the waterer, kind of like the cardboard box that I'm setting over it, just made out of wood with hardware cloth, something like that to go over it to keep the birds out of it. The cardboard box really came down to that's what I could find. So I really went with the easiest, most low-tech solution with material that I had on hand, the cardboard box. It's working just fine. It's not a long-term solution because it will start decomposing, especially with all those droppings being put on it. It's gonna start decaying and falling apart on me. Not a big deal. I have more cardboard. I thought of another solution though, which I may try. All the pullets are piling into this one corner, and the bowl happens to be right here as well. If I were to put up a barrier right here to keep the pullets out of this corner, and they have this corner over here to enjoy, that might break them of the habit of sleeping over here, and they would probably be less likely to be in the water at night. This next one I got is a really great suggestion, not about keeping the pullets out of the bowl, but just keeping the bowl clean in general. It came from Lynette. Lynette said that she has the same bowl, and what she does is she puts a metal bowl inside of the plastic bowl. It's a little insert that sits in there. The metal conducts the warmth from the heated waterer, so the water in the metal bowl does not freeze over. And that way it's really easy to take the metal bowl out, wash it, bring it back, or swap them out if you have two of them. I think this is a great idea. I don't have a metal bowl right now, but if I happen to see one in town, or perhaps I can just look online for a couple and see if I can order them. I'm thinking once I get the roosting bars that I'm gonna build installed in there, they're gonna have a much better option for sleeping, and my hope is that they'll just use the roosting bars. here we go, guys. Here are the roosting bars. It's a little uneven, not quite level, but it's pretty close, and I don't think the birds are gonna mind if I get them to use it. I didn't buy any materials specifically for this project. This is all stuff we already had. The 2x4s were left over from our kitchen table project. These were actually left over from the chicken tractor project we were built back in August. The roosting bar that I originally put in here is a 2x2. I got several comments from people saying, hey, use a 2x4. That way their foot can spread out and they can lie on top of their foot, keeping it warm. I also got a comment below a video suggesting, don't use a 2x4. It's unnatural. It's too big for their foot. They want something more natural. Use a smaller piece of wood. I made the legs just over 3 feet long, which didn't leave me with a lot of scrap material left. I wanted this about 3 feet wide to give them plenty of room. I didn't have much to choose from that was long enough. I had 80 inches of this cedar 1x2, so I cut that in half, giving me 2 perches. And then I had these 2 scrap pieces of 2x4 left, so I just screwed them together in the middle. That way they have a normal size roosting bar and a larger size roosting bar from which to choose, so they can figure out whichever one works better for them and go for it. It doesn't look like we have any takers tonight for it. Well, I was really hoping one of them would get up on the roosting bar and give us a demonstration. Perhaps they'll give it a try tomorrow.